All right, welcome to episode number 1 of the PWE podcast here on YouTube, exclusive to YouTube. I'm not sure what we're going to do in the future with what's going to be in the background. Today, I think we are going to try out scrolling on ComC, looking at the recently added while we have a little conversation. That way, if anything comes up, we can maybe make a play. It'll kind of add like an unsuspecting element to the podcast and get you something to look at so you can look at some cards while we are talking as well. And maybe I miss a crazy deal in here that you guys could inform me on in the future whenever that is. Or if somebody watches this in like 4 years and there's a card on here that's like crazy cheap, but in the future it's expensive, that might be cool too. So let me tell you what we're doing here. This is going to be very similar to some of my other longer form content that I already do, but this is going to kind of be going over a lot of other stuff, not just like a specific topic, if that makes sense. So that's kind of how we're going to try and do it. So if you don't know who I am PWE Warehouse, full-time eBay seller for trading cards. That includes sports cards, non-sports cards, and everything in between. And we will occasionally, throw a little bit of other stuff up on our eBay, but it's going to be card related in some way, shape, or form. So I am a full-time eBay seller. We have over like 53,000 verified sales. Been doing it full-time now for about 7 years. And I have got to see the market do a lot of things in a very short time. I went from having the purest and best upbringing in Pokemon. Before I started this business, I would always get Pokemon in like 2016, 17. Being able to, just find anything you wanted on the shelves for like $3.50, $4 a pack. There was a time where Target had these little gravity feed boxes where you could get Pokemon packs for $3.50, like they were clearance packs. There was a point where I was finding black and white packs in those things. And it was so the amount of evolutions packs in those at the time is when nobody wanted it. Like the hobby was so different back then. And I got to see the entirety of 2020, the ups and the downs, and I've seen the entirety of this new bull market in the TCG world that we are currently in. So it's definitely been very interesting to see how things have developed over the years. And I can tell you now, from having all the perspectives, being through an entire full market cycle, that I heavily enjoy the down markets a lot more than I enjoy these up markets where there's a bunch of money flowing. It is completely different. There are way more deals. There's way more opportunity in the down markets for just waiting a couple of years. So let's kind of dive in to our first topic here. And I wanted to start with the current state of eBay and how rough, how bad it actually is on eBay to be a full-time seller. If you are thinking about starting a trading card business, I need you to understand that, myself personally, I leverage eBay standard envelope. It's the main reason I don't use we're on ComC, TCG Player. I don't use TCG Player because there's no insurance for potential loss. When it comes to eBay, the only reason I have done so well is because there's always a backup to the backup when it comes to anything going wrong. So if the post office loses it, it's fully covered by insurance. If I ship somebody something, let's say it's not standard envelope, let's say I ship somebody 5 packs of cards and they open them and they return them, I'm fully covered by eBay because, there's certain ways that you can contact eBay, let them know the situation, be like, hey, this guy just is completely scamming. He's opening cards, he's returning them, and you just kind of, give them the proof. And they don't accept security camera feed or anything like that. If you're a reputable seller, eBay's got your back. And it sometimes feels like they don't have your back, but in all honesty, they do at times. So, man, that feels really cheap. Let me check card ladder real quick. I'm not going to check card ladder on the PC here, mainly because I don't want it to fuck up the screen capture. So I'm going to check on my phone here. And this is what I mean. Like, kind of do stuff like this. Leo Carlson, not the worst name in the world. numbered to 99. Let's see. Leo Carlson, pink to 99. Credentials, last comps, 550. All right, we'll take it. Thank you, sir. Now, who do we... Is there a way I can see who I just bought that off of? There probably is, but I'm not going to go through all that. I'd like to check that guy's stuff at some other point. But, hey, we found a card. Cool. So, yeah, man. It has just been very, very strange lately. Like I said, eBay has had my back, but I know they don't have everybody's back, which definitely is unfortunate. So there is just a lot of scamming happening on the eBay marketplace. There's a lot of scamming happening on all marketplaces. Whatnot, a Facebook market, it doesn't matter. But I just need you to understand, like, you need to be prepared for when issues arise, because that could wipe people out. Like, there's a lot of people who are just going to start out selling for the first time. They're going to run into an issue like that, and it's really going to unmotivate them, and, you know, it's just going to be a really feels bad moment. And you need to be prepared for things like that. That's probably the best way to put it. So, let's continue on with that. The current state of the market right now, the day I'm recording it, is March 12th. And there's a little bit of a conflict going on overseas at the moment. And it has, you know, dropped the stock market down, I'd say, 5%, about 5%. And that has led to about a 40% decline in our sales when it comes to trading cards in general, both singles and sealed wax. It has dropped significantly. And this is another good moment for you, if you are an aspiring trading card seller, that you're going to have bad days, bad weeks, bad months, or even bad years if you don't know what you're doing. So you cannot get over invested and go crazy, because if you have one of these bad weeks, if you're running on some serious credit card debt or something, like, you need to be very careful. That's really all I have to say about that. Player warn / use Josh Allen. Okay, for 36 bones. His college stuff is just really tough. Stuff is really tough. I'm gonna card ladder it. I don't think I'm gonna buy it regardless, but I am interested. Let's do let's just do National Treasures. Collegiate. Okay. Josh Allen to 99. Last comp is 55, which is what he listed at, but he has a sale going. February 18th, another comp at 25, but another comp at 64, 65 on February 10th. 60, 125, 32. Feels like a buy, honestly. There's one at 27, 45. Let's add that one to the watch list. Let's do that. That's probably the best thing to do there. So yeah, it's just the market right now is very down, and it's definitely one of those things you have to take into account. So just wanted to start out with that. Just because I'm a full-time trading card seller, you got to understand, I've been doing it for 7 years now, so I have a ton of experience under my belt, and a lot of the stuff that we talk about, whether it's through the podcast or it's through whatever, just a regular YouTube video, it's coming with 7 years of experience, so just keep that in mind. So going off of that, one final thing I do want to touch on is, even when everything goes right, stuff can still go wrong with something like USPS. If they lose a ton of your mail, you're going to have to do insurance claims. You're going to have to deal with the buyers, people saying that you never shipped it, people blaming you, and people going off on you. All of these things is part of the process. So you just got to push through it, and, you'll come out on the other side. So let's start by talking about this TCG market. What do I feel right now is going on with this TCG market? I think we are going to see some very interesting price movements when it comes to the Pokemon market specifically in the next 60 to 120 days. I do really think, and I've talked about this in the YouTube videos, I've talked about how I think Perfect Order is going to crash the Pokemon market. I think it's going to be the worst set in a very long time. And I really do think it's going to sit on shelves. Now, you're going to have Chaos Rising. You're going to have whatever they're doing for the 30th anniversary. You know, those are going to be bangers. So there's going to be this very odd window of, 30, 60, 90, 120 days where the market, let's go back to that Roman Anthony real quick. Okay, those are still $5. The market is going to have a very interesting little blip where there's going to be a lot of opportunity for you to buy other products as a result of people selling off other products due to Perfect Order being so bad. This is my opinion, by the way. I have no proof. Perfect Order is not even out yet. I don't even think the pre-release has happened. I think pre-release is on like Friday or something. So just keep that in mind. But I genuinely believe we are going to see a pretty significant crash in the short term. And that is going to unlock a ton of opportunity for you as a buyer to snag maybe some stuff at a little bit better of a price than, damn, someone sniped that Kelsey quick. I was about to say $1.75 for Kelsey to 75. That was decent. I didn't even get to pull card ladder out. It's one of those instances. Oh, this guy's listening a lot. Elway? Oh, it's not numbered. Okay, hold on a second. Let's check this guy's. Let's check this guy. Okay, let's confirm. Cards for you, for me. Yeah, okay, this is him. All right, let's take a sidebar here. Yeah, there's the Kels. Just already gone. Insane. Got sniped so quick. Is this the guy that's been listing all the football we've been seeing? Let's just take a scroll real quick. And then I did see some of these. I thought, they were not badly priced. Yeah, we're gonna sit on this guy's page for a little bit. This is something that I do like to do. It looks like he just started selling through ComC because he does not have that big of a backlog. Sam Levitt for $3. That could be good. I don't know. One of those exclusives. All right, we'll hover on this guy's page for a little. So, getting back into it, I think the Pokemon market is definitely going to have a little bit of a blip where you're going to have some opportunity to invest. And Elway, 175, doesn't seem terrible. What number is it? What's his jersey number here? I don't remember. It's 119. Doesn't even matter. Okay. Sorry, we're getting distracted. I think you're going to have some opportunity to buy some of the sets that maybe you missed out on. And whether it's recent or not, we could see Phantasma Flames easily drop to like $250 a box, if now with the Charizard continuing to pump, maybe not. But if people need to sell that off, then they certainly might have to do that just to pay for Perfect Order. So keep in mind, there's going to be this blip where it could be anything too. It could be Ascended Heroes. It could be a million other things. You could definitely be able to snipe a few things here and there when it comes to this little blip. I assume we're going to have. As for One Piece, EBO3, OP13, receiving reprints in the next 4 months. There's going to be a significant buying opportunity. OP13 is the best modern One Piece set created. That is not a specialty set. It is just a powerhouse. I love Emperor's Into the New World. That's why I bought, over 2 cases of it when I did. But I genuinely think OP13 is definitely a powerhouse as well. It's got some really gorgeous cards in it. On top of some insane chase. Now, EBO3 is kind of the same thing, man. It's another powerhouse set. I would say if you have the opportunity that you would want to buy as much of each during the reprint window. If these boxes are sitting at $200, buy them all day. That's my opinion. I have a significant position of EBO3. I'm sitting on roughly 4 boxes worth at the moment. And to me, that's a significant position. To others, it's not. When the product is so expensive, that's a significant position. And like I just stated, I had over 2 cases of Emperor's Into the New World. Now, with everything being so allocated and so tough to get, to me, 4 boxes worth of EBO03 is a lot. It's impossible to get stuff now. So hopefully that provides a better perspective. When it comes to OP13, I have about 5 packs left. That is about how much I have left. When OP13 came out, when it first released, when nobody was even talking about One Piece, I still got allocated extremely hard. I could not really get any. It looks like this guy's pretty much done listing here. Yeah, it seems like it. So, I had way less than I usually like to have. My initial pack position that I like to have is, anywhere from 10 to 12 boxes. So that is anywhere from, like 240 packs to 300 packs. So that's really where I like to be. And I just kind of go from there. I think I got allocated down to like 80 packs. It was rough. And when I'm getting hit that hard, I'm already going into it like, hey, this is going to suck. Like, this is going to be a little rough. And it was, the market took off and I was out of OP13 pretty much immediately. And it did take me a little bit to actually recover to a point where, I had some again. And anytime I got it in, I just kept selling out. I constantly was selling out. So right now we have like 5 packs. And it's been a little rough. We're gonna take a look at some of the F1 stuff. This guy's listed real quick. I am interested. It's a sick looking Bearman card. It's the first time I'm actually seeing the 2025 lights out stuff. But as you can see, we're going to kind of talk about everything. I'm looking at F1, I'm buying hockey, I'm looking at football. Like, over that kind of gives you some perspective here. And that's one thing, like, with this business, I do literally everything. There's nothing that I don't try to be at least tapped in with. And, I love the WNBA as well. Like, I try to have my feet wet and everything. Probably the best way to put it. But, yeah, so when it comes to One Piece, I think it's going to be opportunity there as well, believe it or not. When it feels like there's no opportunity at all, I genuinely think there could be a little bit there. And as for stuff like Dragon Ball, stay away. I wouldn't touch Dragon Ball at all. That is just, I just wouldn't touch it. That's probably the best way to put it. You can do what you want with your money, though, but I'm not touching it at all. I did. Kalen Clark for 12 didn't seem too bad. I did actually buy a box of Awakened Pulse off my guy, who, I'll give you some backstory. My main guy I purchased from, I was buying Scarlet and Violet base boxes off of him for $117 and $5. Holy. I was buying it for $117 when they were $89, $79. And that has reciprocated to me in the form of cheaper prices now. And that was like one of our agreements. I was buying so much One Piece. I bought cases and cases and cases of One Piece off of him. And, it was all at 89 a box. Every single one, 89 a box. And that has now got me, now these newer One Piece sets, they are slightly more expensive. But I'm getting the new One Piece boxes at $120. I'm getting the new Pokemon boxes at $130. Destined Rivals, my booster box cost me $130. Didn't matter what the market was. I get grandfathered into that price. So when it comes to Dragon Ball, my guy had a little bit left, and I was like, "Hey, I'll take your Awakened Pulse, whatever you got." And he's like, "I literally have one box left, and you can have it for the original price before it went up, $89." Turned around same night, sold it for $300. So my guy looks out for me. Same thing with Blazing Aura. He gave me 3 boxes of that. It's $69 a box, and they all sold for like $150 right at the peak. So, it's one of those things where connections definitely makes you money in this hobby. But when it comes to that IP, Dragon Ball, I wanted no part of that. I saw it. I knew I could make profit. I knew I could make a disgusting margin on it just because we do business together and we've done it for so long that he was willing to cut me in and he was into those boxes dirt cheap. So the TCG market, like overall, it's still booming, but there is stuff you should avoid. Gundam is something that I'm kind of bullish on, but it's been pumped. It's already up 30%, so maybe not so much anymore. When cases were under 1,000 for GDO2, and then GDO3 dropped to 1,000, which I think it went up. I think it's back to like 1,150 or something. But it's like, dude, I saw cases of GDO2 at 970. I bought 2 cases, I was like, there's no way I'm not buying some of this. And it went up to $1,300 a case in literally 2 weeks after I purchased it. So there is opportunity still in this booming TCG market. As for other TCGs, Yu-Gi-Oh, we definitely got to keep an eye on the was it Retro Collection 5, I think it's called, with the new full arts and stuff. We definitely got to keep an eye on that. As for everything else, Lorcana, Fabled's doing really well. I don't know about really anything else, and Magic's in a little bit of a rough patch right now. But I will say Magic, when it comes to bulk, I'm buying bulk, any bulk I can find that's unsorted. Magic is one of those things where the new releases, they're really struggling right now, but the cards themselves, Magic is one of the most played TCGs out there. The singles always do well, even the cheap ones. So keep that in mind. Do not ever bat an eye at Magic. It is still something that you can do significantly well on. I'm really surprised this Vinny Pasquantino slab hasn't sold for $5. Typically, people buy up these really cheap slabs pretty quick for their stupid mystery packs and shit. Same with the Paulo. So let's move on. Let's talk about the sports car market. Right now, the sports car market is in a very troubling time. We are in a gambling epidemic. It is really bad. TCG is kind of the same way with One Piece right now, and some of these Pokemon sets, Evolving Skies, 151, stuff like that. But it has gotten to the point where the amount of gambling happening is kind of getting disgusting. And on top of that, you have Fanatics jacking prices up. Panini has had high prices for the last 5-6 years since 2020. The state of the hobby has really gone downhill. Flagship boxes used to be about $60 in like 2017, 2018. Now they're pushing 110. And then when it comes to like Topps basketball, like, are you seeing some of these high-end sets they're making and the price tags? Finest, I think it came out at 800. I don't know what it is now. So it's really bad, and I really think Topps is going to be slightly different with football. I think Topps knew their first basketball set was going to be insane, and that's why they jacked the ever-living shit out of the prices on it. They knew Cooper Flag was like a big deal too. It's like that's another part of it as well. There's just a lot of things that went right for Topps and Fanatics on the basketball release. So I did see the leaked pricing for Topps Chrome Football, and it does seem like it's going to be cheaper. Megas are going to be, I think, at 65 instead of 80, and then Blasters I think are going to be 35 instead of 50. So that's already a step in the right direction. If we can keep that going, that would be really good. That's just the best way to put it. That would be really good, because I think Topps Chrome Football is going to do fucking numbers. It is going to be really insane, and I hope they make flagship football too. I really do. I would love to stock that in the store. I really would. So the sports car market is definitely not in a good state. Now let's talk about kind of the rest of the market. Where are we at with all these startups and these new card games? And I'm talking about, stuff that I've already talked about on the channel. We're talking about Cyberpunk's TCG, the World of Tanks TCG, Power World OCG, stuff like this. These new card games, they are heavily reliant on their IPs. They are not trying to make a good game yet, or maybe they are. I don't know. Cyberpunk does seem really in-depth. But they are heavily relying on their IP just to get started. And it's like, let's release something, let's figure it out, and then we'll actually try to like figure it out. So Cyberpunk, you hear the name Cyberpunk, you hear they have a card game, cool. We're buying Cyberpunk cards. It's as simple as that. And that's how it was for me. I heard they're making a Cyberpunk TCG. I'm like, no fucking way. I fucking love Cyberpunk. Like, all things about Cyberpunk, not just the video game, everything. Going the whole way back to the older stuff, everything about Cyberpunk is sick to me. So I'll definitely grab myself at least a box to open for my own personal enjoyment. Now, will I continue to invest in it from a business perspective? From what I've seen so far from them, they literally said they want to print it into the ground. They want it to be print to demand, print literally, physically, as much as possible for as many people that want it. If there is Kickstarter logos on the boxes, that's fine. Doesn't matter how many you print, honestly. Just having it be the first Kickstarter only, I think that's okay, honestly. But after that, dude, if it's printed demand, forget about it. Don't even worry about it. Any monetary numbers, nothing. You can just go ahead and forget about that because they're gonna pull a Lorcana. So Cyberpunk, I think, has the most potential out of a lot of these new TCGs, and I only said 3 names. Once again, World of Tanks, another video game. There's a theme here. Video game cards do well. The Halo Legacy Collection stuff did absolutely phenomenal. Let's go ahead and check in on that while we're waiting for some more stuff to populate here. See if anything else got added here today. Anything that I might want. Not seeing much. A lot of rampants. You might be thinking to yourself right now, I didn't know Halo had cards. That's the problem. A lot of people just don't know that, there's Halo cards out there. So, moving on, World of Tanks TCG. This is one that I've talked about pretty in depth. And, dude, it is so bad that it is to the point where I can't even like fathom how it got cleared. It's that bad. It's one of those things like you just have to see it to believe it. And good lord, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Still kind of has some sales on eBay, which is shocking. But it's a disaster. Let's just call it how it is. Another one I don't have written down next to me. I'm looking at a little list. I try to have some kind of structure when, we're going to talk about stuff. Neopets from Upper Deck. Upper Deck is trying to make a little TCG. I think Neopets is a great IP. It's one I enjoy. I enjoyed the Webkins when Gans made cards way back in the day. They made like 4 series, 1, 2, 3, and 4. In 3, they had the Magical Retriever. And in 4, they had the Mystical Panda, which those at the time were hundreds and hundreds of dollars, like nice high-end chases. And then they had little pet cards, foil cards. They did so many cool things with the Webkins. And we did have some Neopets stuff back in the day. I don't know if it was made by Wizards or... Was it made by Wizards? I almost think it was. I can't remember, but they did the Key Quest stuff, but we haven't really, had like a lot of these older IPs, even like Club Penguin had a TCG at one point. A lot of these older nostalgic IPs haven't really got another chance with a card game. And, Upper Deck, I don't know if they did Halo or Neopets first. I don't know which one was in the pipeline, but they started experimenting with these video games. And they did the Halo Legacy Collection, which was a hit. Neopets Battle Dome was a TCG. The Halo stuff isn't a TCG. It's just a collectible thing. The Neopets stuff is literally a TCG. And it actually did fairly well out of the gate. It wasn't bad. And let's just check on this real quick. Let's do 2021, Aaron, Judge... 35th black to $2.99. All right, overpriced. About $5 overpriced. Great Comp C price though. He'll probably get it. So like this Neopets stuff, it has done okay, and I honestly hope they succeed, man. I really do because it's kind of fun. I've actually opened a decent little bit of it already, and I've enjoyed it genuinely. It's been a nice little throwback to the past, seeing the paint brushes and seeing some of the areas on the cards. Like I have one card, I don't know what it's called, but it's in that area where the snow, like the one, I don't know how to describe this. It's like a snow snake that guards a bunch of eggs and treasures. Dude, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you're like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Is that a voice crack? Might have been. So this podcast is going to be great. This is going to be great. This is going to be so off the wall and like unhinged. It's going to be cool. But like some of the cards are really sick, man. And having some of these nostalgia pieces and video game stuff, like it's doing well in the card industry right now. And we're seeing, the Cyberpunk TCG, like I already talked about. And then World of Tanks, which they executed the worst I've ever seen. I feel bad for anybody who bought that from their distributor. They got smoked on it. Absolutely smoked. And the next one, I know we went on Neopets. We didn't really say too much. They're like 4 sets deep now. I like what they're doing. I think it's decent. I don't love the price tag. They're taking more packs out of the box. They're going from 24 pack to 20 pack, and they're increasing the MSRP from $3.99 to $4.99. Don't love that. But other than that, it's fun. I like it. I enjoy it. The next one we really have to keep an eye on is the Power World OCG. Power World really shook up the video game industry when it released because it was dead ass, pretty much a copycat of Pokemon. And there was a ton of lawsuits back and forth, Nintendo and Pokemon or whoever was suing who. And for the first time, Pokemon actually lost a lawsuit. I think I might need a water. One second. Just coat the throat a little bit. There we go. So, I believe there was a few lawsuits they actually lost for the first time in a minute. And Power World just doubled the fuck down and said, let's make a fucking card game. But they didn't call it a trading card game. It's not the Power World trading card game. It is the Power World official card game. It is the OCG. Obviously, did that to avoid lawsuits. So, I thought that was super interesting. And it's definitely one to keep an eye on. There's 12 packs a box, 7 cards a pack, 12 boxes a case. Cases are anywhere from $450 to $550. I think the pack price on the $450 is like $317 or something. $320, $350, I don't know. Should be somewhere in that range. And then another $100 for the case. It jumps it up about $1 a pack. I think at $3 something a pack, you have some margin. I think at $4 something, you really don't. So depends if you can get it at a good price. We're going to take a small break right now, a little intermission. I do want to thank you for joining me. If you made it 32 minutes into this, I do appreciate you. I would hope that you can subscribe to the channel. And if you don't want to watch all the other content that I release here about all kinds of different things in the card market, then at least stick around for the PWE podcast. And, just consider subscribing to the channel. Down in the description below will be a link to our eBay store. Check us out. Right around 10,000 listings as of right now. Tons of signals to choose from. And also, tons of wax to choose from. We have a ton of different options. Cheap stuff. Expensive stuff. We got $20 packs. We got $2 packs. Whatever you fancy. So, if you'd like to check us out over there. And you can also check us out on ComC. All you really have to do is, find somebody on ComC. Click on their item. Go to a username. This is probably a more complicated. There's probably an easier way to do it. Click on the username, and then in the URL up top, you'll be able to just type in PWE Warehouse in the user, and all of our inventory will come up for you. You can check us out on ComC. Tons of cards out there for just $1. I think we have 1,800 cards out there for $1. So, I mean, definitely tap in if you're looking for some cheap cards. So, one final thing, and then we'll kind of hop back into it here. I will take a break myself. I'm going to hit the pause button, so hopefully no issues. Our Patreon. Our Patreon in the future is going to be a place where you can buy product a lot cheaper than our eBay store, a lot cheaper than anywhere that I am offering it. It's going to be similar to the Rudy Patreon. There's a supporter level tier where you will not be banned if you cancel your membership. You can, join and unjoin as many times you want, but you cannot participate in sales. And then there's going to be the support, not just the support tier, but the actual main tier for the Patreon. And that is going to be for discounts in the future. The first 26 spots, which I haven't checked Patreon in a few days. I don't know if anybody's joined. Probably not. The first 26 spots will be the cheapest it'll ever be. $10 a month. Now you're locked in for life. You can't cancel. If you cancel, you're banned permanently. Just like Rudy. But you will be grandfathered in to the cheapest discounts that I can offer you in the future. There's things in the works, potential distro deals already. So if I have, right now on hand, I have 5 cases of Topps Baseball just sitting. If one of the patrons was like, hey, can I get a case of Topps Baseball? I'd have to tell him no, because we opened every single box for the silver pack. But in the future, when I have 10 cases and we're not selling through the silver packs as quick as we do, if that's ever possible, um, it's one of those things like maybe I could offer the patron a case, at $10 more a box than I paid for it. But that's still going to be, $20 under market. And that's just getting it from my guy, the one I mentioned earlier. Like I said, there is distro stuff in the works currently. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it is in the works. So, quick break. Wanted to plug that. All the ways to support us. And once the first 26 spots are filled up, there will be another 74 spots that open at a $20 price point per month. And the same rules will apply. You're stuck to that rate for life if you cancel your ban for life. And, you will still get pretty hefty discounts in the future. And, but they won't be as good as the first 26. And then after the first 100 spots from those are filled, there will be probably another maybe 100 spots opened up at a $15 tier, but they will not get nearly the pricing discounts that the first 100 will get. I'm just now noticing this Ronaldo autograph that just populated in ComC. Like, what? You guys are sending this kind of quality to ComC? That's unreal. All right, I'm going to hit the pause button, take a little break myself, and then we will get right back to it. All right, we are back. A couple seconds for you. It's actually been like 30 minutes for me. Just updated our list here, so we'll have a ton of stuff to take a look at. So let's just dive right in. Like I said, I appreciate any support on any of those places. If you do feel like you gained some kind of value from this podcast here today, I'm going to remind you to also hydrate yourself. Got another little swig of the water there, so make sure you guys are, grabbing yourself a swig of water here while listening, whatever you're doing. So let's hop back in. We are going to dive into the current state of Fanatics. And not only have they, I don't want to say they ruined the hobby, because they've done a few things that I actually like. But I will say it does almost feel like they have ruined the hobby. I think the biggest thing for me recently has been the prices. The fact that the only releases that I genuinely feel really comfortable purchasing are the flagship products, these Topps flagship products, and maybe some of this other cheaper stuff, right? But I really like, even with Stadium Club this year, it went from, I think, 24 packs a box, 2 autos, and a price point of maybe like 110, I want to say, to this year being 16 packs, 1 auto, and like $130. That to me is insane. That is just kind of off the charts insane to ruin such a staple product like that. It feels a little nuts. And that's still low end. That's still not even the higher end products, right? There's a lot of stuff now that I just simply can't afford as a business owner that stocks the products. Now, if you got a ton of money and, whatever the reason may be, whatever, whatever, it's one of those things, like, if you can afford it, great. But most people can't. They have really kind of alienated a lot of people into being forced to purchase retail. When you have Topps Chrome basketball at that pricing, $80 for a mega box, and $50 for a blaster. I'm about to sneeze 1 second. Just had some quality sneezes and didn't blow your eardrums out. So plus right there. But the price, like, dude, I'm sorry, but $50 for a blaster box. I think a lot of us joked at one point in time that, we would have $50 blaster boxes soon. I don't think we ever actually thought it would happen. And the fact that it did is just insane. I mean, it is genuinely insane that we got to that point. I feel like that's not bad. I'm going to card ladder this. But dude, it's just like, to me, I don't know how we got to that point so quick. And yes, we did talk about it. Cooper flag, first Chrome back, first basketball. A lot of things went right. Okay, and now this stuff has just continued to go up like crazy. Let me look this card up real quick. Topps 2024 F1 Sapphire Max Verstappen, and that's going to be card number 145, and that's going to be number 299. Really? It's going to be in the bottom here. Yeah, I'm going to be... Oh, it's right here. Yeah, it is number 99. Okay. Yeah, last comp's $20. Okay. That is not worth it. Definitely going to check out this guy's other stuff, though. Just listen to a little bit of everything, actually. Yeah, I'm good. Okay. So, I don't know, man. It definitely feels like Fanatics is really, really pricing out a lot of us. And if I'm feeling priced out, there's going to be a lot more people than me feeling priced out because I'm a business owner. I don't even open anything. The only stuff I open, like, there's very certain products. The Easter eggs from this year, they were so good. They were loaded with value. Those little Topps Easter eggs, probably opened 50 of them. And a lot of those singles were put, on our eBay for sale, and a lot of them still haven't made their way up there yet. But I rarely get to open anything, and there's rarely anything of good value to open because the prices are so high. And when you do get a well-priced product, like, for example, WWE Universe, it has horrendous quality control problems. Almost half the print run, maybe even more for retail. Every single card, the first card in, or excuse me, every single pack, the first card in the pack has significant corner damage. Like, the corners are destroyed, they're smoked. Now you can send them into Topps for some kind of replacement. I don't know if I sent them like 65 or 68 cards or something. I dropped that off a few days ago. I don't know if it's there yet, but I would be expecting a package from Topps very soon. And I don't know if they're going to send me a pile of base cards or if they are going to send me a few packs. Even if they would send me one singular hobby pack for all those cards damaged, that would be well worth it. That's like 60 some cards, and a hobby pack's like 30, $35. So, it would be nice to get a little something from Topps. It was kind of disappointing to have that many cards damaged, but it is what it is. And it's not just that release. Like, there are quality control issues across the board, all over every single product. There's a lot. Whether it's boxes missing hits, boxes missing packs, packs missing this, damage, whatever the case may be, there is definitely a significant amount of issues when it comes to the quality control right now. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the upcoming releases. I want to talk about first Heritage, which, contrary to what I was just saying, actually has some pretty good value, specifically in the mega boxes. The megas actually seem pretty good. There's like 17 packs a box for $50. It's actually pretty good value. And I really did consider grabbing myself a gotta look this up real quick. I considered grabbing myself a wait, no, hold on. This is seriously undervalued. It has to be. There's no way. One second. Are you kidding me? Last comp on a green real one was $8? Dude, I get Drew Thorpe had surgery and everything and all that. Dude, that feels crazy undervalued. That's why we check comps, though. That's why we check comps. Um, Let me get back on track here. So the Heritage does look really good. When it comes to, let me be specific when I say this. It looks really good when it comes to the initial upfront value. I don't know once we see the product for the first time if you're going to open a mega and get absolutely hosed. I mean, you could get nothing. If you buy a case and you're like, I would expect out of a case of megas, probably five relics and 2 autographs. That's what I would expect. And if you're not getting that, let's say you get 2 mems and maybe 1 auto. I mean, for $1,000, that's just not acceptable. So it does depend on, what value is actually there, and if it does turn out to be decent, but it's one to watch. 17 packs is no joke. That's just a lot of value for the price point right now. Um, when it comes to a blaster box of Topps flagship baseball, let me just do the math here. I think it's 6 packs now because I took a pack. So 25 divided by 6, that's $4.16 a pack. Heritage is cheaper than flagship right now. I think their blasters have 8 packs. I think that's the math. I think there's 8 in a blaster divided by 25. Did that wrong? 25 divided by 8. Yeah, so packs of Heritage baseball that have on-card Real One autos, numbered chromes, like a whole lot of stuff. Heritage is $1 cheaper a pack than the flagship baseball. That to me is good value. That is good value when you have a product that, in my opinion, can have a little bit higher of a ceiling in some instances than the flagship, and it's cheaper than flagship. I mean, that kind of makes sense to buy some of, right? RG3 rookie relic for $1, man. How the times have changed. But yeah, I definitely think Heritage is one to watch. I didn't pre-order any, mainly because we've been paying down debt in the business right now. It's been our main priority. And now that is about paid off, I think we have $1,000 in debt yet to pay off, and I'm probably going to throw another 500 at it today, 500 at it tomorrow. Boom, paid off. It's going to open up some opportunity to potentially buy some stuff. I don't know exactly what we're going to take on, but, the opportunity is there. I think Heritage is good value, but that doesn't mean it's a good product. Let's be clear. So because of how much is being printed, you know what that means? The print run might be sky high. And when the print run is sky high, you will see less numbered, less mem, because typically the mem in Heritage is game used. So it's one of those things like, I don't think Topps is ever going to do the Panini where they just put in napkins. But I will say that could mean less mems. Let me look this up real quick. Wild card, holiday, hits, Tyler Shuck. This should not be anything crazy, but I'm going to check it. Yeah, it's not. I would check. So yeah, we'll see on the Heritage, and the other one that I'm interested in. There's a whole lot. There's Disney Neon, Disney Wonderland, tons of other releases, right? These are just the ones that I'm interested in. The other one is going to be Series 1 Celebration. When it comes to Series 1, I probably have 10K worth of Series 1 on hand right now, and the way that I do flagship releases is not how anybody else does it. I buy a shitload of it and I wait 6 months. And if I have to wait more than that, if I have to wait 12 months, it should all be gone by then. That's how I do it. If I have any remaining, like right now, 2025 Series 1, I think I have like 4 hobby boxes left. I think I bought a case and a half of that. And honestly, I think it's a weaker class than 2026 Series 1. People were really gassing up 2025. I didn't really see it with the class. I don't really think James Wood is all that. I don't think Dylan Cruz he didn't do anything. I'm not really like huge on that class. 2026, I went pretty crazy on. We have like 5 cases of that right now. And then when it comes to retail, we have about 500 packs. So it's just one of those things like I have a lot of it and I expect most of it to sell. Y'all heard that? Bro, I swear a door just opened. 1 second. All right, that was kind of strange. I think because it's super windy today, like 50-mile-an-hour gusts, and maybe it's like pressure or wind or something. That's what I'm going to tell myself, okay? But where were we? Talking about Topps. Like 500 packs of retail Topps, and I expect most of that to go ahead and sell very, very soon when it comes to at least my time frames. I say 6 months is soon. 12 months, that's when it's a little annoying because you go into the next year product and you have the old year product. Sometimes it's good, especially if 2027 Top Series 1 is terrible. That puts me in a great spot for 2026 because if the set, so what happened for 2025 is people hated Series 2 so much that they kept buying Series 1. I thought Series 2 had a way higher ceiling. If you look at some of the hits from Series 1 to Series 2, you lose some of the rookie power, but you gain a lot of other hits. There's a lot of other stuff. Like in Series 2, 2025 Series 2, you have the Otani All Aces, I think. Um, and in the, I don't know if Series 1 had the All Kings or not. I don't remember, but you still have really high end hits that you can hit from Series 2. And just because it wasn't like that great of a rookie class for Series 2, people wanted to trash it. And for me, I was just like, okay, you guys do that. And I still have, right now, I can see it from here. I have 17 boxes of Series 2 still on hand. So we're already in that, like, 9-month range for Series 2. But, it's one of those things where I really like this Series 1 stuff and the Celebrations product coming out. I bought probably like 2 cases of it last year. And, the Megas just did amazing. I might have bought more than 2 cases. I might have. And I'm assuming that the cases are 20-box cases, not 40 for Megas. So I think about 2 cases, probably accurate. So, I mean, it did phenomenal. I'm almost out of it, which is great. And we're gonna, move into the Series 1 celebration, hopefully, this year, and it's gonna still do well, and hopefully they didn't, like, tank the product. Curtis Mead autos for $2, sheesh. They're not, like, anything crazy. I mean, he really, really was kind of a letdown, just like Dylan Cruz, but we'll see what that turns into. So next thing here on my list, we're gonna move back into Pokemon here for a second, because one thing, I guess I didn't say this. If this is your first time ever seeing me, hearing me, I do actually have a physical location. It's just a small little spot that I rent out, and I sell cards out of it. Simple as that. I know the owners of the building, and they already have employees for their business, so anytime I need anything, they go and do all the work for me. I just stock it and pay them a commission. It's very nice. One thing we're also trying to expand into is getting into an antique store and trying to get an antique booth for some of this other stuff that I get in, like, storage units and stuff. More stuff that is not really card related, stuff that is just like bulkier, bigger goods that are sports related. I want to grab myself a storage unit for that, or excuse me, an antique booth for that stuff, from all this stuff I'm getting from these storage units. But at my physical location, we sell Pokemon, and the last few months, it has ramped up so much. And this is when the market on eBay has actually been going down. It has been a really interesting flip-flop. And because so much has not been selling on eBay, I'm really noticing how much is selling at my physical spot. And for example, 2 days ago, I sold 15. No, excuse me. I fucked this up on TikTok too. I said the same exact fucking thing. I sold 10 packs of Ascended Heroes at $15 a pack. Right now on eBay, we have them for like $14 free shipping, and they barely sell. That is insanity. This week alone, we have probably sold close to 50 packs of Pokemon, all at like 10% above market. That's just so they don't instantly sell out. They're not stupidly marked up like, the Ascended Heroes thing. I think Ascended Heroes market on TCG Player is probably like $13. So we're just at an even 15. I haven't checked in a minute. It could be way down, but when I put them in there, it was like 3 days after release when they were about like $14-13. So like with Ascended selling that well, everything is selling well. Phantasmal selling amazing because of the Charizard. Mega Evolution is just a great base set. That's selling well in there. Even stuff like Paradox Rift is selling in there. That we have in there at $7.50 a pack, which is going to need raise soon. That's fairly cheap. So, I've been thinking about pulling all of our Pokemon out of eBay. Like taking everything off the site, man. All of it. And really filtering it into the physical location. And number one, providing that opportunity for the locals. And then also just making more money. Like, you simply make way, way more money with the physical location. I'm not paying shipping. I'm not paying eBay fees. I'm paying a simple rent charge every month. And I'm paying, a slight commission just to the owner. Like, that's as simple as it is. So, I don't know, man. I've really been considering just locking it in and taking it all off of eBay. There's also zero risk. There's no return policy. There's nothing. It is literally zero risk. eBay has risk involved. So I just wanted to throw that in there. And, I was just thinking about changing it up a little bit with the Pokemon sales, and I thought that would be interesting. We're almost done here, by the way. I'm almost out of stuff to talk about, and that's pretty good. It's about an hour long. That's kind of what I anticipated. I did want it to maybe be a little shorter, but if we're yapping, we're yapping. It's fine. It's good stuff. It's good content, and yeah, everybody's gonna be fine. So moving on to the next thing. This is kind of like a me thing with the eBay. I want to talk about burnout. As somebody who's been doing this for 7 years, full time, the more that I progress, the more work that I need to do every single day. Just last year, my average orders a day were maybe 20. This year, my average orders a day, anywhere from 40 to 60, dependent on how good of a day it was. That is a significant workload increase on top of having to manage every other thing in my life. And it's a lot, man. It is genuinely a lot of work. And it has gotten to the point where I have started to get burnt out. And it's one thing you really have to give yourself breaks. You have to take breaks. And it's one thing that as an entrepreneur, if you're a cold-blooded entrepreneur like me, you'll never work for somebody. It feels like actual torture, then you can't turn it off. You can't just stop working. So one thing that I've been doing is taking very small breaks. And even like just scrolling on ComC, doing this podcast, this is actually a break to me. We've only bought one card, I think. But this is relaxing to me. Just scrolling, looking at cards, looking for deals. It's almost like I'm at a show and I'm just going through a dollar box. It's kind of the same thing. So, you need to take some kind of breaks, or you will just drive yourself insane. And after you continue to do it for a few years, you're also going to start getting jaded. And that is, in my opinion, it depends on how much money you have. I think if I had enough money just to buy whatever the hell I wanted, any amount that I wanted, that I would probably lose my mind. I think because I don't have enough money for things, I still have, very obtainable goals, and I still have like a sight line to where I want to go. And, like next year, I want to be able to hopefully start buying stuff from distro and having the capital to do that. So that's the next goal. And then after that, what is the next goal? What is the next goal? You're always going to want more. You're always going to try and level up, move up. And, I don't think I'm that jaded, but there are times where I do feel it. When it comes to being burnt out, I'm absolutely burnt out. I've been saying this for the last 2 years that I need an employee, and I don't think I'll get one. It's kind of a trust issue. I think what we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna probably look at maybe I'm not sure on this, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and rent some kind of apartment that I could turn into a whatnot studio, and then hire one of my buddies to stream out of it and either sell singles or do breaks, and have him, work for like $10 an hour plus some kind of commission, something like that. But that's something I'm thinking like 3 years from now. I don't want a commercial property for it. I just want something low key and just run a little thing like that. And I'm sure he'd be happy to help me out a little bit on that. But that's like one thing that I've been thinking of. Where's this numbered at? Usually it's down here. Oh, it's right here. 4 of 25. I'm gonna look that up. But yeah, that's like kind of where I'm at. I need an employee super bad. I just don't trust anybody. You work this hard, and I will say a lot of my buddies who run shops, they have already fired so many people just from constantly stealing from them, which is it's really sad. But the problem is when you're paying somebody $10 an hour, and they're taking in a whatnot stream, 3,000 in a stream. It's definitely kind of a feels bad. Last sold on this card was in 2023 for $12. That feels yeah, that feels criminal actually. So it's tough. It's definitely tough, but try not to get burnt out. One thing that's helped me a lot is actually not listing nearly as much stuff on eBay. I was doing like 200 things a week pretty consistently. The like last 10 days I've listed zero, except for a few things that I've turned from buy it nows to auction, some old inventory. But, I haven't been listing as much, and I've been trying this YouTube thing. Still doing like a TikTok a day, trying to do a video a day here on YouTube, which I forgot to schedule one yesterday. That was just my fault. I have content ready. It's just I didn't get it up. But I've been trying to change it up just a little bit for the mental, and that's one thing as a business owner. Like, it does get stressful. Money aside, just the workload gets stressful. So, final thing here is the YouTube not doing that great. I think I've been uploading for about a month here on this channel, and a few videos have hit, and that's exactly what I expected. It's just like TikTok. The one thing that is definitely discouraging to me is that because I'm talking about everything, that I'm not locking myself into a niche, and that is preventing people from subscribing to the channel. That alone is going to be a major roadblock for the longevity and long-term success of the channel. When it comes to the short term, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But when it comes to the long term, it's definitely going to affect us because, the algorithm is going to be like, oh, he's not talking about MetaZoo today. Voice is giving out on me, so we're going to have to wrap this up. My MetaZoo videos do really well. Some of the new release videos do really well. But a lot of this stuff that I upload, like this podcast, I would suspect it gets 5 views max. And you gotta keep this in mind. I sat here for an hour talking, and the only play that I made on ComC was a 50-cent Leo Carlson that I might make $2 off of. So I basically made $2 an hour. It's one of those things where, the other videos I'm actually talking about stuff, not doing this, I'm not making anything. If the videos were at least, I feel like the content is good. I don't think the content's the problem. I think it's just I'm a new channel. Nobody knows who the fuck I am. Nobody knows how to find me. And I think that is the issue. In the future, if this channel is, making, I don't know, $5 1,000 or something per views, and that would probably be okay. So we'll see what it turns into, man. I'm gonna keep giving it, content, keep giving it some work. But if we do end up going, I would say 2 more months without any improvement, I'm unfortunately gonna have to just change the channel around. The thing is, it worked on TikTok. It took a while. It took almost 3 years to get our first 1,000 followers, and then another 200 came pretty quick. But to get that clickable link in our TikTok, it took probably 2 years, maybe even 3, because I had purged a lot of bot people that just mass follow everybody. I actually deleted all of them because I didn't want the fake followers for the fake engagement. So, we'll see. I'd love for this to work out. But at the same time, right now, I've been uploading for a month straight. What I would say is very informative content from somebody who is a full-time business owner in this. It's one of those things like, I feel like I'm providing enough value in these for it to be worth people to subscribe if they're running a card business. Not everybody's running a card business. That's the problem. I do think once we get the Roca Sifter, that's going to be content people want to see. But yeah, we'll see. So we're going to end it here. Once again, feel free to support us over on Patreon, PWE Warehouse. Feel free to subscribe here to the YouTube channel and drop a like on the first episode of the PWE podcast. The reason it's called that, by the way, is because over on eBay, that's what we specialize in, sending stuff in plain white envelopes. eBay standard envelope is the reason I have found any bit of success in my life on eBay, selling cheap singles and not having to pay $5 shipping. It is the main reason I am where I am today. That's how I started, and that's just the name of the business. So that's that. And yeah, feel free to check out our eBay, which there should be a link in the description for you. Should be the top link if you want to grab yourself anything, cheap wax, cheap singles, and you can always reach out to me there if you do need some. You can drop a comment here on this video, or I guess you can contact me on TikTok too, because I know a decent amount of the viewers here actually follow me on TikTok. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I want to thank you for joining me today. I will talk to you guys soon.